Yes. Hello, I'm Kyoko Minamoto, VPPR of Global Family, and we are so glad to have you with us today. So, we encourage everyone to turn on your cameras, but please leave your microphone on mute unless you are speaking. So, let's welcome Global Family President Joseph Taupin.
Hey, thank you
Phew!
so much, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful to see everybody. So many people in red today. This is great. As we discussed earlier, maybe just a happy accident, but very nice as we wrap up the Lunar New Year holiday season and get into March. Fantastic to see everybody. I see some more people hopping online. And before I pass things off to our Toastmaster of the meeting, Von Erich, just a couple of quick notes because we're doing a few things a little bit different. You might notice, wait a minute, speaker two, who is this? It's a fantastic special guest joining us from the UK. And it's going to be an absolute treat. I've been looking forward to this since our very first email exchange a few weeks ago. But with that, we're just going to be doing two things a little bit differently. One, he's going to be practicing a contest speech. And so we're very fortunate to have him coming, and we'll be talking about that in a moment. And for that contest speech, we'll be pausing our Zoom recording. So we'll be protecting secrets. These are trade secrets for the competition, and we want to keep Kyle safe. The second thing is because he's doing a contest speech, and in this Zoom space, we have several DTMs and distinguished speakers, past champions on the district stage. So we want to be able to provide him some extra advice, some extra feedback. And so when we get to the end of his speech, we'll just have a 2 minute period where people, if you want to write in a private chat to Kyle some feedback, what were your takeaways? What did you like from the speech? Anything like that, just to give a little extra boost, along with our evaluator. Kyle.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I've actually got a feedback form, Joseph. If it's okay with
Oh,
you, I could
really?
put a link to that in the chat and everyone could just click that in the 2 minute period. And yeah, that would make things even better if possible.
Oh, that would be fantastic. So I'll just ask you when we get done with our first speaker, you can drop that right in the chat for us. Nicely done. This is a pro competitor. Oh my gosh, the excitement is building. Okay, well, with those basic ground rules in place, we are now good to go, ready to start. And tonight and today, this morning, I'm absolutely pleased to bring up on stage our Toastmaster of the meeting, Von Erich. Von Erich hails from Canada, the districts over there, and he has been a huge pillar in our club. He was one of our club mentors that helped guide us the first 6 months of Global Family's life. And he's also been somebody who's been very active, not just in his own district, but also District 67 over here in Taiwan. He's somebody who speaks with a lot of empathy, a lot of wisdom, and just overall wonderful charisma. And so tonight, with this theme of your next chapter starts now, I think we have a wonderful way of just thinking about life as we go into a new month. And I just want to encourage everybody to just give a big, warm round of applause to our host today, Von Erich. Von Erich, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is Bon Eric, as what our president said, and I'm from Canada. Now, a short introduction about our team. Your next chapter starts now. Think of a book, turning the page one by one. And think of your life. Today, March 1st, the start of a new month. We're turning a new leaf, turning a new page in our life. Slowly, gently. It's how you turn the next chapter of your life. But the most important here, leave the past behind, particularly the bad one, because your next chapter starts now. But before that, I would like to acknowledge to our helpers. Just say hi, your name, and then just say hi. First, our timer, just say hi, and please tell your name.
Hi everyone,
Yes. Thank you, Simone. Next, to our counter, just say hi.
Hi everyone, I'm Helen from Malaysia.
That's Helen. And of course, I would like to give a little recognition to our general evaluator. Just say hi, please.
Hi.
Hello. There you go. One more time, please. Make it energetic. Say hi, general evaluator.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
That's Teresa, our past district director. Thank you very much. Now, turning the next page of our meeting, we have speaker, computing, and because of that, we need to turn off the recording. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Simone, for the timing. And thank you, Kyle, for your speech. Now, if life is a book, Kyle showed up a wonderful page. Let's see what's the next chapter holds on, because I'm going to call our second speaker. Our second speaker is no other than Andy Kim, with the title of his speech, To Mentor, from his presentation mastery. This is 5 to 7 minutes. And it's level 2, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. Please help me welcome Andy Kim. Andy Kim, the floor is yours.
Andy, why did you stay in Toastmasters? That's the question I heard most from guests, from new members, and from even seasoned Toastmasters. For a long time, I don't know how to answer. I'd mention maybe because of the manual, maybe because of the stage time, or maybe because of the maybe trophy. All true. But the truth is much simpler. I stayed because back in 2011, I met my two giants who refused to let me stay small. So today, I want to talk about my two mentors, Jerry and Fiona. They didn't mentor me one after another, they worked on me at the same time. One was the push, and the other was the pull. In February 2011, I walked into my first Toastmasters meeting ever. And I went there just to have fun. I just wanted to use English. After the meeting, a guy named Jerry, who was sitting next to me, leaned in and asked questions that change everything. Andy, what did you want to achieve here? Well, I just want to practice English, Jerry. He nodded, but he nodded with a curious smile. The kind of smile a coach gives a player before a hard practice. Then he slowly approached his bag and took out two manual, competent communication manual and competent leadership manual. And he told me, Andy, read this every single page before you come back to Toastmasters meeting next time. Then you will have real fun. I think that was the beginning. He didn't wait for me to feel ready. He was continuously giving me the challenge. After the 6 months, while I was still nervous about giving a simple evaluation, Jerry looked at me and dropped a bombshell. Andy, it's time. You need to charter a new club. And you're going to be the president. Well, I don't think so. I thought he was crazy. I was a beginner, but Jerry knew that the best way to grow a leader is to give them a responsibility that feels too heavy to carry. He pushes me out of my comfort zone before I even know I knew I had one. But here was the problem. Jerry pushed me into the deep end, and I quickly realized that I didn't know how to swim. There went my another mentor, Fiona, came in. Fiona was the first territorial council chair in District 93, and while Jerry kept saying, "Think bigger, Andy," Fiona did something different. She showed me how to build the structure that makes bigger possible. While I was struggling with the weight of the presidency, she didn't give me more challenges. Instead, she asked me the most important question a mentor can ask. Andy, what resources do you need? Probably the time machine. How can I spare my time for you? Whenever I had to prepare my speeches or understand the complex leadership role, Fiona was there. We should sit together and refining my delivery and share her years of Toastmasters experience. If Jerry gave me the vision, Fiona, she provided me the execution. If Jerry lit the fire, Fiona told me how to carry it without burning myself. From these two mentors, I learned that a good mentor isn't a single personality. It is a balance. Jerry told me that a mentor should motivate their mentees. As a mentor, you must see the president inside of the member who only see the student in themselves. You should push them to take the challenging roles. And Fiona, she told me a mentor must be supporter. You must be available. You must be available, and 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 expertise useless if you don't have time to spare it. She told me that the being giant isn't about standing tall. It is about leaning down to help somebody else to stand up. Because of Jerry, because of Jerry's push and Fiona's pull, I didn't just improve my English. I grew. I went from a shy, doubtful member in 2011 to serving as a district director in District 93. And today, I found my global family Toastmasters where I keep exploring what's possible next. So when people ask me, Andy, why did you stay in Toastmasters? My answer is because I met my two mentors, because I want to pay forward. To the mentors who are here today, be like Jerry, challenge your members to charter their own dreams. And also be like Fiona. Be available and spare your time. I just want to thank my two mentors. Back to you.
Every speech we heard reminds us that growth is ongoing. Thank you, Andy, and thank you also to Kyle. Now, let's have a chapter of courage as the next segment of our meeting requires courage to speak, for I am prone to speaking. And I'm going to introduce our table topic master, our very own Harry Pong. Harry Pong, stage is yours.
Thank you. So, welcome to our table topic session. And today's theme is your next chapter starts now. Every book has a chapter. Some are exciting, some are painful, and some are confusing. Well, but without turning into a new page, the story never moves forward. And in Toastmasters, Every speech is a new chapter. Every time we stand up here, even with shaking hands, we are writing something new about ourselves. So tonight I want to ask you a quick question. Imagine this, if your life were a book and tonight was the first page of your next chapter, what would it say? So the first day, I would like to put the question at the checkbox, and the first question would be, if today truly marked the beginning of your next chapter, what is the first decision you would make? And this question may invite Patsy to answer, please.
Today in Taiwan or in Canada, I believe it's March 1st. What is it going to be a new chapter? Well, if I said a chapter like everybody else, let's say every day is a new chapter. And every day it could be a decision to make to change the entire life. That's that every day has a great impact. Ironically, I have a book. Everybody knows him. He is a chapter, a new chapter of March 3rd, 2026. Because it's been sitting in my desk for over 2 years. I have not even finished the 30 page because it's so difficult. But I was inspired by his some part of his story in the younger part of. I stopped. Why? Like everybody else, procrastinate. There are a lot of other things attracted. I did not finish, but he inspired me. I believe he has opened many, many different chapters by his resilience and consistencies as a great leader in the different industries. He changed the world. So how about start reading his story? Well, I'm not a bookseller, but but definitely, if I want to set a new chapter today, let's say finish my reading, then I hope that can inspire all of you as well. Back to you, Carrie.
Wonderful. So the first decision is to read the book. That's wonderful. So the next question, if your next chapter had a title, what would it be? And this question, I would like to invite Joseph, our president. What would be your next title?
Fantastic. I was actually just starting to think, if I had to answer this question, what would my answer be? And I think it would be New Beginning. So the truth is, and I've given speeches about this before, about how I've got this deep-rooted addiction to saying yes to everything. Anything that comes across my table, I say yes, because I get so excited about new things, new projects, and the extra little joy you see in somebody's face when they say, "Can you help?" and you say yes. And then what happens is I say yes to too many things, and before I know it, my schedule is completely out of whack. I haven't seen my gym trainer in like 3 weeks. The wheels are kind of coming off the car. And so I told myself during Lunar New Year and the holiday period, I need to step back. I need to restart. The hard thing is, though, in Taipei, everything shuts down during that holiday. Everything is closed. My gym instructor isn't even there. And so it was very hard to restart. So I started to tell myself that March 1st, today, needed to be the restart day. And so it started by not waking up late, but instead waking up early. It started by not drinking coffee at 5 p.m. and instead cutting my caffeine off around 2 p.m. And so, Harry, the thing that I want this chapter to be, the title that I want when the reader turns the page is New Beginnings, when Joe finally gets his act together. Harry Fong.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And the next question. Let me, okay. So the next question will be, what is one habit you will leave behind as you enter our next chapter? As you enter your next chapter, what is one habit you want to leave behind? Is there a guess? I cannot see the next page. Clara, is Clara there? Clara is here?
Not here, not here.
Not here. Okay. How about Hannah?
Regina is ready.
Regina. Okay. May I invite Regina? Tell us about your habits that you want to leave. Please, Regina.
Okay, if I would like to choose one habit to leave behind, I think maybe is because I always slept very late. So I want to, I think, change it to another habit to go to bed earlier, yeah, and get up earlier. Sometimes I will think, listen, my husband Alex get up very early at 7 o'clock to join the Toastmaster meeting. Sometimes I envy him. he can get up so early and I think to join Toastmaster meeting so I think regularly, and maybe in 1 week he can join 5 clubs.
Wow.
Including the early morning and the very late, like Global Family. So I think it needs a lot of passion. Maybe if I can change my habit, I think it's a good habit for me, and I can use a lot of time to, I think, not only to join Toastmasters, maybe I can also read some books and also listen to some good videos or some podcasts to improve myself. So if I have to choose to leave behind one habit, I think the sleep late is a habit for me, and I can do more things if I can get up earlier. Thank you. Back to Harry.
Thank you. That's really wonderful. Going back early can be very productive too. Alex, you're very energetic. So the next question is, what skill do you need to develop to succeed in your next chapter? The skill. May I invite Kyoko? Kyoko Minamoto, please.
Oh, thank you for pointing me. So, what skill do I need to develop to succeed in my next chapter? Is that drop the perfection. So my next chapter is about letting go of perfection. So I want to trust the process more. I want to believe that I'm safe, and even if I'm not perfect. So recently, I started forgiving myself for making mistakes. So since then, I feel lighter, and I can try things more freely. So even if I'm not perfectly prepared, I can just start. And that has changed my life more than trying to be perfect ever did. So now I'm not afraid to try. So recently I launched the campaign, the Pathways Level 1 completion campaign. I just launched, and then the member can get a T-shirt when the member achieved the level 1 path completion. And then I designed the T-shirt, but I created the design with ChatGPT. So I don't know if I can create the design I showed the members, But anyway, I launched the campaign. So I proud myself and tried so leave behind the perfection. Yes, that's my new chapter. Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Wow. Well, it's really wonderful that we always have our dream and we can when when we when we start our new chapter, we can always try something new. I think the time's up. So end of the section. Back to you, Eric.
Very well done. Thank you, Harry, for leading the session of table topics. And thank you to all table topic speakers tonight. It's a proof that each table topic speaker tonight reminds us that growth happens one chapter to another. With that, let's continue our chapter because this is another amazing part of our meeting. And we know this is the general evaluation. And this is a chapter wherein we will learn from our evaluators. Now, it's an honor to call our very own past district director, Teresa, to be leading the general evaluation. Teresa, please.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Toastmaster Von Eric. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, every members and guests of the club. No matter which part of the world you are from, we belong to global family. And tonight together we learn this new chapter concept. And it starts now. Let's set our new chapter together. As the general evaluator, my role is to introduce individual evaluators and timer counter to give feedback to the speakers and the meeting. I would also give general comments to the meeting. And together, we give feedback. When the speaker gets the suggestions, the feedback, they can start their new chapter. Okay, let's start. The first speaker, wow, so marvelous, needless to say. So we would like to introduce the current district director, Alex Huang of District 67, Taiwan, who is so energetic. No, who?
Stefano.
Stefano.
Yeah,
Stefano.
Stefano.
Sorry. Okay. Same script. We are so honored to have District 76, Japan District Program Quality Director. From my point of view, Stefano is always so calm, so tender, so composed, and sincere and honest. That's what I can see. Of course, he's diligent and organized. And tonight, he's going to give feedback or a new chapter to the first speaker, our wonderful speaker, Kyle Murdo. Stefano, the stage is yours. Please.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Before I get started with the evaluation, I would like to share that I've known Kyle I think we met first in 2020, so we do have a history. So, Kyle, it's a great pleasure to see you visit our club. I have studied a lot your evaluation speeches for the contest that you won online. So I know well your style. So I think I'm maybe the right person to evaluate you. Okay, having said so, and I want to say I also follow Cal's progress with his speaking coaching business over LinkedIn, and I'm always happy to see that he's progressing and growing his presence online. So I'd like to also congratulate you for your success. Okay, having said so, let me get started. Thank you, Toastmaster Kyle, for delivering a very interesting speech. I think your speech really showcased your ability as a speaker to use vocal variety, stage presence, especially on an online environment where you have, I think, some if you don't pay close attention, you might miss it. You use a technique where you get closer so that the mic picks your voice when you're highlighting the point, especially the murder. You use excellent vocal variety, like when the door was creaking. I can't do it as well as you. But what I want to say is, I was scared. I had goosebumps. I felt like I was there in Jamaica, and I thought I was going to be the fourth husband. That's how powerful and scary your speech was. I also liked the subtle elements of humor that you added, your interaction with your partner Emma when you can have him. My wife is British, so we have similar kind of banter and sense of humor. So I could completely relate with that interaction, which added. I must be honest, 60-70% of his speech, I was wondering, where is this going to go? And another great point was the surprise element. I think if we're on a dance floor and you have the DJ putting the volume up and then boom, the drop. And for you, the drop was the message, the elephant in the room, misinformation. And I'd like to commend you for your choice because it's a very relevant topic. And I think misinformation is probably one of the most polarizing topics at the moment. I've seen families break up. I've seen relationships break up. I've seen friendships end because of misinformation. So you are hitting the nail right on the head in terms of the topic choice. So I think you have a very strong contest speech. What can we do to make this already powerful speech stronger? And I wanted to observe 2 points. So firstly, your speech is not the standard Toastmaster speech where you have the hero and the hero gets defeated, he or she gets up and moves on. That might be a bit of a risk for certain judges who might be a bit more conventional in terms of seeing that. So I'm not sure about that's something you want to see and test out with other clubs. The second point, which I think is probably the most controversial part, is you choose misinformation, which can be very controversial. But I think you play it safe. Maybe you focus our attention on the tarnished reputation of Arnie Palmer, which I think is probably the most neutral way to present that to a contest. But I think that takes away your ability to bring in the audience. Have you had the other side of the screen or listeners get penalized because of misinformation? Did they lose their job because they stuck to some ideals or beliefs? I think this speech can definitely involve more the audience if you evolve the misinformation in terms of how this could affect the audience, their life, their situation, rather than the focus of Annie Palmer. But having said so, you are an excellent speaker, and I hope not that you just win district, but hope you make it to Vancouver. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefano. Great to see you as well, my friend.
Wow, really great. Thank you, Stefano. Your evaluation was very thoughtful and aligned with especially contest judging criteria. So the suggestion is really very useful, and you balance the encouragement with challenge. But I have one tiny suggestion. Before you enter into the evaluation, you said something about the relationship, acquaintance with the speaker. That took time. So if we add that time, you are over time today, I think so. If you can save that part, and you will be timely qualified, I guess. Okay, that's my tiny suggestion for Stefano. And now we are going to introduce our district director for District 67 Taiwan, Alex Huang. It's our great honor. He is the godfather of our club. He created the idea of global family. That's really marvelous. And then we are here together to create a new chapter. And as I said, he's outgoing, humorous, energetic. I really enjoyed being with him. And now let's put our hands together to welcome our second evaluator, Alex Huang, our district director of Taiwan.
Fellow members, what do you want to say in Toastmasters? It's a universal question, but it's a very important question for us to think about the value of Toastmasters. Today, my brother, Andy Kim, delivered a wonderful speech about the introduction about the mentor in Toastmasters. Andy, do you know we had a lot of things in common because I also had two mentors when I was a new member. The very moment when I joined Toastmasters, my mentor still gave me a handbook for me to read. That is CC menu. So throughout your speech, I truly enjoy a lot. It is one of the best speeches based on the mentoring projects. So I think that today you really just gave a wonderful demonstration about how to use a project to deliver a speech. That's really good. I deliver a speech in three ways. First thing is about the engagement. I think I know Andy very well. We met in Korea and also in Taiwan and also in the international convention. So every time when I meet Andy, I am amazed by his charming and also the way he talk to people. Now I realize because Andy always show his sincerity to people, and his very natural delivery style and natural eye contact, the way you interact with all the others really catch your attention. In the first part, I really love it. Second part, the dialogue. I think every last member in their speech, they will use a dialogue part to present A and B, like a role play. But today, I think that Andy, you present it very well because we can see the difference between your mentor and you also imitate the voice from your mentors. We can kind of feel that scenario, and also you really brought us back to the moment you were staying with the mentors. Really good. The third is about, I think you really read the project carefully, and as I mentioned, it's one of the best speeches I have ever heard in this project because you gave a wonderful story. You really brought us to the moment when we were staying to our mentors, the memories with our mentors, and also you inspire us to think about why we stay in Toastmasters. As a brother and also evaluator, let me give you two suggestions. The first one is that I need to be picky because in your speech, you have a few seconds kind of forgot your contents. And we saw that as an experienced Toastmasters, I think you can just have some pauses at the moment. Okay. The second is about you should bring us more impact. Because like your mentor, Jerry, he's a tough guy who just gave you your menu to read in the conclusion. I think you should imitate your mentor and ask us, why did you stay in Toastmasters, fellow members? And give us something to bring us more impact. All in all, it's a wonderful speech with a beautiful voice, wonderful content, and valuable contents. Wonderful message. I'm looking for next speech. My brother, Andy.
Thank you, Alex. Wonderful evaluation. Your evaluation was structured, specific, and leadership oriented. I think you set a powerful example of what high quality feedback should look like. Really good, very well organized feedback. Thank you. Now we have finished the two individual evaluators. Now we go to the timers report. Our timer is Simone from Jamaica, right? Okay, Simone, please. Hi. Yeah, Simone, your microphone. Okay,
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. So we had our two prepared speeches earlier, and Our first speaker delivered in 7 minutes. That was Toastmaster Kyle Murtagh. And our second speaker, Toastmaster Andy Kim, delivered in 7 minutes and 1 second. Our table topics presenters did very well. In 1 minute and 55 seconds, we heard from Toastmaster Patsy Wu. Toastmaster President Joseph Kaplan spoke to us for 1 minute and 42 seconds. And Toastmaster Regina spoke for 1 minute and 38 seconds. And Toastmaster Kyoko delivered in exactly 2 minutes. We also had our speech evaluators who shared with us so Toastmaster Stefano, he shared his introduction of Alex, of his friend in a minute. He shared everything that he knew about him and, the relationship. And then he delivered his evaluation in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Also, we had Toastmaster Alex Wong delivering in exactly 3 minutes and 28 seconds. And that takes me to the end of my report. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Simone, for your wonderful, very precise feedback of the timing report. Timing is a very important element in Toastmaster meetings. I sometimes are over time, to be honest. That's very something that some bad habit I should leave behind. Okay, now I'll counter Helen from Malaysia. Helen, please.
Hi, thank you, General Evaluator. So for our 2 prepared speech, so there is no filler words detected. So very good. And then for the next, our table topic, so for Paxi, so there is a 3 over there. So for the suggestion, voting, actually can just pause. And for second speaker, Joseph, there is no filler words detected. For third speaker, Regina, there's also same, there's a 3 So same suggestion goes to Regina as well. So for Kyoko, I realized that Kyoko will have the so in front of the sentence. So the suggestion will be can direct to the sentence without the so. I also paste the report in the chat room as well. So thank you so much. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Helen. Very clear and precise report. It will help all our speakers to improve in the future. Okay, now it comes to the general evaluation session. Tonight's theme is Your Next Chapter Starts Now. So what did we see tonight? We saw preparation. We saw leadership. We saw courage to step on stage. The strengths of the meeting, always starting on time. 10 minutes before the meeting, I got a line call from our president. I said, is meeting time? Still 10 minutes. Joseph is so responsible. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, and our transitions, very smooth. Evaluations were high quality and educational. One tiny growing suggestion. As we move forward, let us connect each role, every role and every speech more strongly to the theme. Maybe the Toastmaster, when the Toastmaster said the meeting theme, you can ask the speakers or session master about the meeting theme, then you introduce their ideas. That will be a strong bond to connect all the speakers or session masters' idea of the meeting theme. So the meeting theme can be deeply developed in this way. Okay, but it's okay because our time is very tight. Because we have a great meeting. A great meeting is not only a schedule, it's a story. So we heard stories tonight from the great contestant Kyle and from our past district Kim, you shared your experience, your stories, and your theory to and the core value to us. We learned from you. Your stories are remarkable and impressive. And now, let me end this end with this idea. A chapter does not begin when the meeting ends. A chapter begins when we decide to apply what we have learned now. Tonight, we were evaluated by district leaders. That raises the standard. Wow, so high. The real question is, what will you do differently tomorrow? Not you, but us. The next chapter does not start next month, next year, or tomorrow. It starts with our next speech, our next move, next moment of courage. And this moment starts now. Thank you. Back to Toastmaster Van Eric.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you very much, Past District Director Teresa. What great feedback. Work the team in more closely with each role. How about that? That is one thing that we will do next meeting. Now, before we end this meeting, I have a very short closing statement with our team and as a Toastmaster. First, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to our Vice President Patsy Will for asking me to be the Toastmaster. Second, I would love to say thank you to each and everyone, to our guests, members, friends. Thank you for being an engaging audience. Remember, as what our general evaluator said about the next chapter of your life, for me, my personal opinion, your next chapter doesn't require permission, perfect timing, or applause, because it simply requires you, and that's the most important. It's just you. Now, let's move forward, not just to inspire others, not just to be inspired, because your next chapter truly starts now. I will now give control back to our president. Thank you very much once again.
Wonderful. Fantastic meeting. And I'm always impressed with what we're able to squeeze into a global family 1 hour meeting. The speeches, table topics, evaluation, just boom, 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 boom. But what I love is, despite that speed, there's still a lot of space for reflection and for sharing. It's really beautiful. Before I forget, I'd like to ask Patsy if she could help us with a group photo.
Oh, definitely. Let's have a group photo first. Are you ready? Let's start our new chapter having that beautiful smile. I'm going to count down. 3, 2, beautiful global family. 1. Yep, great. I will put in the chat room. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you
Back to
so
you.
much. I love that the Japanese side, the hearts just came up on their screen. Absolutely beautiful. I'll do a couple of announcements and then we'll move on to just a little bit of guest feedback or just hearing from some members who didn't get to share as much today. So first things first, our next meeting, March 15th, we'll be having our speech marathon. So Patsy has been working on collecting all of our speakers, all of our evaluators. Our last marathon was a fantastic success. I couldn't believe we squeezed in 6 speeches in an hour. It was pretty intense. I think we also have seven this time around. So this is going to be a fantastic night, and it really collects some of the best and brightest of Toastmasters International across many, many different districts. So I encourage everybody, mark your calendars, and even more importantly, if you can, bring a friend.